Hi, my name is Michael Sean Foudy, and welcome to the very first episode of Vinyl Pilgrim. On Vinyl Pilgrim, I'll be pulling a record from my collection. Every artist will have a worldview. Every song will have a story. Every record is a journey. And hopefully it leaves us a bit different than it found us. So I decided to start today with the sludge metal classic from 1971, Black Sabbath's Master of Reality, and the song After Forever. Yes, we think we know Black Sabbath. The name alone brings up darkness, heavy riffs, horror movies, maybe even Satan himself. That's the image most of us carry, but then I heard a song that did not fit the picture. Here's one. What if one of the most openly Christian songs in rock and roll history was written by Black Sabbath? The song, After Forever. And that contradiction sent me down a rabbit hole. The band's name came from a 1963 Italian horror film starring Boris Karloff. They wanted their music to feel the way horror movies felt. Dark, unsettling, mysterious. Like a lot of young people in the late 60s, they were also curious about spiritualism and the occult. But curiosity isn't the same as belief. Now, timing matters. The summer of love was fading. The optimism of the 60s was giving way to something darker. For some, heroin replaced LSD. Following Woodstock, Altamont. And of course, you had Charles Manson. And on top of that, you had the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy. Rock music was already exploring the shadows. But Black Sabbath simply walked a little farther into them. Then the record company made a decision that would follow the band for years. Without asking them, they printed an upside-down cross inside the debut album, alongside an occult poem filled with images of murder, death, blasphemy. The band did not like it, but the image stuck. The person most bothered was Geezer Butler. He wasn't just the band's bassist, he was its chief lyricist. Raised in a devout Irish Catholic family, Geezer had been exploring spiritualism and the occult. Then something happened. He described a terrifying experience after reading a black magic book given to him from Ozzy Osbourne. That experience inspired the song Black Sabbath, not a celebration of evil, but a warning about it. The image took on a life of its own. Fans showed up dressed for black magic ceremonies. Some genuinely believed Black Sabbath represented their movement. The band wanted to be frightening, but this was something else. Geezer later said that the band even turned down an invitation to perform for a black magic gathering. Soon afterward, they were told they'd been cursed. Ozzy's father, who worked in a metal factory, made each member an aluminum cross. They wore them for years. Whether it was faith, superstition, or both, it says something about where their heads were at. Then Geezer did something nobody expected. He answered all of this, not with a media campaign, not with an interview, but with a song. It was called After Forever. Have you ever thought about your soul? Imagine hearing that in 1971. Not from a preacher, from Black Sabbath. So you've got these four young guys from Birmingham, sons of factory workers, raised among smoke, steel, football, neighborhood churches. Definitely not theologians, just heavy metal musicians trying to make sense of the world around them. Is God just a thought within your head? The song begins with questions. Questions about faith, questions about doubt, questions about whether you've really examined what you believe. Would you like to see the Pope on the end of a rope? Now that's a shocking lyric, and some people may have stopped listening there, but I hear something different. In an era that celebrated tearing down every institution, Geezer asks, have you really thought this through? Or are you simply following another crowd? Then the song changes. They should realize before they criticize that God is the only way to love. By the final verses, Geezer isn't just asking questions anymore. He's telling you exactly where he stands. Whether you agree with him or not, there's nothing ironic about it. Perhaps you'll think before you say, God is dead and gone. He challenges the listener directly. He believes faith deserves more than dismissal, and he isn't shy about saying so. That's what makes After Forever so remarkable. Not because Black Sabbath stopped being Black Sabbath. They didn't. They still loved the mystery, the darkness, the unsettling imagery. But this song is something different. It's Geezer Butler putting his convictions on the table without apology. You don't have to agree with Geezer Butler. I don't think that's the point. The point is, he wrote exactly what he believed, even if it surprised the audience, even if it complicated the image of his own band. Sometimes the most interesting stories aren't the ones that give us answers. They're the ones that refuse to fit neatly into the story we've been telling for more than 50 years. After Forever still asks a question that's worth wrestling with. Not just, what do you believe, but why do you believe it? I want to thank each and every one of you for joining the journey today. So keep listening, keep noticing, keep making the pilgrimage.